Make sure I unmute the right sections. Oh, why is this black? Where did everything go? There we are. It helps if I hit the right scene.
It does indeed help.
It's the wrong game night I clicked.
Oh.
In the beginning,
yeah,
there was darkness.
All right. So, who wants to rehash? Anyone?
I left ghost tears on the floor.
On what floor?
The coffee shop.
What coffee shop?
I don't know. Starbucks. I don't pay attention to that. I'm dead.
Lamau.
Why were you at a coffee shop if you're dead?
Once upon a time, we merry fools were spread across the city of New Orleans. I believe at the beginning of our last session, Morgana had made it back to her mother's little shotgun house down in the Irish Quarter. Mike and Terry were enjoying the hospitality of the alchemists down at the Potions Lounge. Gillard was just kind of doing Gillard things. He was home, chilling, thinking about golf, drinking wine. I imagine Metallica was on.
Yelling at my idiot assistant for... Apparently, somebody sent me fur. Some idiot. Oh my goodness.
Who even does that? So rude.
Wow.
Wasn't me this time.
In a rubber band, like, really?
So to
Screw the
completely
environment.
eliminate all of Daryl's masterful scene transitions, Morgana spent the evening communicating with a pixie who arrived at her home and claimed to have been charged to defend it. He delivered some cryptic warnings after being bribed with pizza, as is tradition. Mike and Terry...
What are we...
It's very traditional.
It's traditional in the Dresden verse.
Can I ask what we're calling that? What are we calling it?
What are we calling what?
Hillbilly Fairy, Moonshine Fairy, Fay Haw?
No one asked.
He's a pixie.
Hey, well,
I guess it's gonna require some research.
Not that last one.
He's just an old sparkle Nick.
Oh no.
It's probably got some French name associated with it that I'm gonna butcher at some point in time.
We can find one. There's a French name for everything.
Oh, I already have one.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm gonna butcher it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go.
Mike and Terry have resumed their quest. A particular piece of petrified wood, some bamboo, was required to save, potentially, the life of John Garfinkel, who was in a somewhat catatonic state on the floor.
Correction, that was petrified palm.
Palm, that's right, thank you. Terry's not a specialist.
Mike is.
Gillard, as mentioned, received a mysterious / threatening letter containing some fur and a phone call from somebody in the commissioner's office trying to arrange things as was always the plan. Got to keep the city, under lock and key. Over the course of the evening, Mike and Terry attempted to return to Morgana's shop, seeing as, she's a reseller of various magical goods. She might have some. It didn't go super well. The borrowed truck had its engine punched into the ground by someone very familiar to all of us. And there wasn't even any petrified wood left, so we had to give Morgana a call, arrange to meet up at the Quest Coffee House down the street, and now we're returning. I believe a phone call also went between Gillard and Morgana. Morgana sort of twigging to the content of the threat, being the only one here who knows about Freddy's sort of polymorphic nature.
Still didn't know that guy got a pet. I mean, the way he barely keeps up with himself, I'm surprised he had the time to get a pet cat. It's the only
But
thing
he
I can
would have a
figure out.
cat, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
It kind of fits his personality.
He'd have an outdoor cat.
I feel like I should specify so there's no confusion to anybody who might be just joining us that it was not Mike that punched the engine out of the car.
No, this is true. That is very important.
I considered it, but you know.
All right. So, Gillard, where are you at? Were you? I can't remember. Were you on your way, or did you just arrive when we ended things, or were you just staying home sleeping?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay.
Gillard couldn't go to sleep, and that's when he called Morgana, and Morgana was like, listen, that cat hair is Freddy. Like, has to do with Freddy. And then Gillard could peacefully go to sleep, that itch having been scratched.
Okay.
The wine took effect, and I am out.
All right.
Big chillin'.
So, conversation ended with the call, right? Or the scene ended with the call.
Mhm.
So, we find you and Terry sitting in the coffee shop still.
Okay.
Right? Okay, not me.
I'm still kind of upset.
Where we ended the last session, Morgana, Terry, and Mike were all walking down to her shop.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were en route.
All right. So, you successfully make it to the shop. It's still in the same condition. Sidewalk busted up, taped off. Doors, I know Prim, you mentioned that Morgana had locked the shop up, but when you get back there, the back door is actually not only unlocked, but it's like dented from the. So, like, your door would enter or open from the alley into the shop, and the door is actually like busted in with giant dents into the door.
The side door would actually open up into the hallway, and the hallway has a stairway that leads up to her apartment and then an entrance into the shop.
Yes, that door is busted inwards.
Oh, cripes. I hope that my apartment's okay. Well, kids, I guess let's head up. So at this point, I'm going to open up the door and take out my keys to unlock the upstairs apartment.
Your upstairs apartment, surprisingly enough, looks undamaged.
Good. So I'm going to unlock the apartment this time.
Okay, so as you're, would you say there would describe the stairway leading up to the apartment for me? Is there like is it just a dark stairwell with a wooden door, or
It's kind of like an interior hallway with 2-story ceilings, and there are stairs leading up to a not necessarily a plain wooden door. I would think that Morgana would have some sort of like wrought iron like door in front of it, just sort of like an extra layer of protection, just because her apartment is essentially attached to her shop. So just something else to deter thieves.
okay? Everyone just roll me a d10. Master, you're not there, so I'm sorry. I should have clarified. Everyone who's in the hall, roll a d10.
Thank goodness, because a 2, really? Nah.
We don't even know what it's for.
Yeah. No.
So,
Nope.
Mike and Morgana, you actually notice as as Morgana's unlocking the door and about to go in, the light that enters from her apartment into the stairwell, because the way I picture it is you have windows that have light coming in from the outside. Even though it's night, you have the street lights and stuff. It at least casts enough of a reflection to where you notice while the door's untouched, the walls to the hall are all scratched.
Terry's looking back the other way, not even paying attention to the walls yet.
Yeah, Terry notices nothing. He's like, this is fine craftsmanship.
Hey, he's watching the 6, man. It's important.
Morgana looks off to the side, sees the scratches on the wall, and she just goes, ugh.
Do I even
happened
recognize-
here? Holy shit.
Do I recognize that this is recent damage, or do I just think that this is, the typical of a New Orleans flat?
You have options. Let's say you can either roll an intellect or like a focus if you really want to just kind of get into it.
I'll just do an intellect because this would be a passing observation.
All right, yeah, go roll for it. You notice this is not normal, like transient hobo decided to camp out here for a few hours type of damage. This is like deep scratches that it's not even uniform. It's, think of it as if you had a really fine, not even a fine, just a thick needle. So something that comes to a point that just dragged against the wall, and they're deep.
So I'm gonna wisp over and get immediately in Terry's face. And,
What's up, Mike?
I'm gonna point at the scratches and be like, "Look, either Mom's into some really weird stuff, or something kind of nasty's been here."
Terry reaches out. He runs his thumb over one of the scratches, see how deep it is. That's not good. I think we can probably guess who did that.
But
Morgana.
I need you to be on your toes, Terry. If worse comes to worse and things get nasty, you leave her to die and you run, okay?
Yeah, kid,
Mike.
what's up?
1 second, Morgana. Mike. God's on my side.
Well, we've had this discussion, Terry. God was on my side too, and look where I am.
Morgana, these scratches on the wall, can't say this for sure, but that woman, or whatever it was that she actually was, that stole the box, she had some sharp nails, put it like that. Gotta be careful when we go inside.
I
Why
don't
don't you
think.
let me check, Terry? Tell her I'm gonna go in and look first.
That's a great idea. Mike's gonna go ahead and check for us.
That's actually a good idea. You can go for it.
So I'll phase through the wall.
All right. So since you were more or less invited in and you have permission, you're able, like, as you go through the wall into the apartment, you actually feel this kind of pull on you that normally, like, it's just some kind of resistance that you haven't felt before, but you're able to push through it and come out and no worse for the wear.
So Terry from inside kind of muffled, you hear, "Jinkies! What is this place made of? Asbestos?"
So you're inside the apartment. You look around. Morgana, why don't you describe to me what the inside of your apartment normally would look like?
All right. Morgana's upstairs apartment above her shop is just a simple little 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom sort of apartment. It has a very open main room where if you enter through the doorway to the wall on your left, there is sort of a console table up against the wall, around which is like a sofa with a couple chairs, a rug on the floor, maybe a small coffee table in the middle of that. Then somewhere off to the right, you see something of a kitchen island with a small kitchen surrounding it. And then there is a door in the back that leads off to a bedroom, and then another door sort of off to the side on the left from like if you just entered the door to the apartment, which is the bathroom for everyone. Very simple and very eclectic looking on the inside, considering Morgana's tastes.
Well, the first
Like-
thing I'm going to do is peek in through each one of the doors and just
Like-
I'm looking for any sign of a threat.
Another like just
Sorry, go
little
ahead.
flavor thing. There's like a pot rack above the island where Morgana has nothing but just hanging dried herbs coming off of it. So, give you an idea.
Nice.
So that's what you see.
All right. So
Mike?
I'm peeking through each one of the doors inside.
As you make your way through, it's clear.
All right. So, yeah. Terry, she's got some dank herb hanging on the wall, but beyond that, everything looks cool.
All right. That's great to hear. I think we can go in. I think there's no one there.
All clear? All right. So at this point, since I've unlocked the door, I open it up and we step inside.
Who's the first one through?
That would
Mike.
probably be, yeah, besides Mike, probably be me.
All right. So as you make your way through, you actually notice you kick something on the floor as you come through the door.
I look down. What did I just kick?
You see a small white envelope.
Okay, that's interesting. So I pick it up and I open up the envelope.
Inside the envelope, you also notice a tuft of fur that's been rubber banded.
From over your shoulder, even though you can't hear. What you got there?
Well, after that call with Gillard, I guess we both got the same note. Interesting. So I just kind of stow it in one of the pockets of my skirt and make a mental note that that's something that Gillard and I will talk about later.
Terry, can we talk about the fact she's getting mail order fur?
I suppose it's easier than going to the store, you know?
Well, yeah, but is she piecing together a coat?
I think we'll ask that later. That seems
Good.
like a later thing to me.
Inquiring
Ask what?
minds want to know.
Ask what, Terry?
Mike was curious who's sending your fur in the mail, but we got stuff to do. We got to get back to John.
Yeah, quick aside though, Mike. I've got no idea. Gillard got the same letter. And I strongly believe it may have something to do with Freddy, our mutual friend, but that's a time for another.
Wait,
That's
who's
a story
Freddy?
for another time.
Terry,
Remember
who's Freddy?
I was about to say something. I remembered that Morgana can't hear that.
I don't know, Mike, but we'll come back to that. Don't worry.
Anyways, at this point, I'm going to walk over to the kitchen and go through my. I have sort of a personal stash of like just spell ingredients in the cabinetry, plus like some overstock that I couldn't fit into some of the cabinets downstairs. That's for my shop.
Okay.
Are there any more of those plants that I'm not supposed to mess with in here?
That's up to Morgana.
Actually, a lot of the valuable stock that was not stolen, she moved upstairs before she went back to her childhood home. So yeah, the mandrakes would actually be in her apartment right now.
Terry, look, Look, it's those weird things I'm not supposed to touch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're still not supposed to touch him.
I'm going to fly up and start pretending to poke at it with my ghostly finger.
Terry, he turns away as if he's just leaving this whole situation behind for the moment. And whatever happens, happens.
It's a
Yeah,
weird
so
little thing.
I am going to get any extra stock of petrified palm that I have.
Okay. You gather up, and you don't have nothing happens with you poking the mandrake. Not sure how mandrakes honestly react to the dead, so I'm just saying they don't. So yeah, you gather up your stock. Go ahead and roll me, let's say a D10 again. I'm in a 10 kind of mood.
Everyone or just her?
You find 7 pieces.
All right.
They're about quarter size, round.
So, Terry, this is about all that I have right now. Do you think that'll be enough?
I have no idea. I don't know where else you'd get it in the city, though, so it'll have to be.
Yeah, I guess let's get this back to John then. I'll go with you for safety.
That would probably be for the best, given the state of this place.
Yeah, and I want to ask the alchemist a few questions myself.
They've been nice enough. I'm sure they'd be amenable if we show up to help. We gonna need a different way to get there, though. They might be a little less pleased after I tell them something destroyed their truck.
Yeah, true.
And it was the big guys, too.
Question. When I use Wonder of the Ways, can I take people with me?
Let me look at it. I'm leaning towards yes, but I want to make sure. Your advanced knowledge of the Never-Never's ways enable rapid travel. Once per session, you may conveniently arrive at a scene in a manner and time of your choosing without consideration of time or distance. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be able to, because it's essentially you just opening up a passage through the Never.
Yeah.
It's going to take a bit more power because you're going to have to hold it up longer than you're used to. So you're not going to hold it. And no, I'm not going to make you roll anything for it because it's just, you're going to be going in and out. It's not like you're having to keep it open for an extended period. So no, you're good.
All right. So Terry, I know a way that we can go that can actually shortcut around the city outside, which would be a lot safer than here, but there's a lot that I will need to explain to you later. But right now we have no time.
So in the
Let's
middle
go.
of the conversation, you hear this ear-splitting screech come from the mandrake.
Do I die? Usually you die.
Roll, I'm trying to think of how to play this off.
Mandrakes release the ear-piercing screech whenever they're sort of like removed from their pot. It's a thing whenever they're like sort of plucked from the soil. So
I'm not physical, by the way.
You're not?
No, it's only appearance.
Okay. All right, so you didn't become physical and start poking it.
No, I'm just manifesting physically or visually.
All right, so it doesn't let go a screech, but you hear like a whine.
I look over to the mandrakes and I probably see Mike floating there, don't I?
Yeah, not floating, just standing there with his arms crossed. poking it.
Mike,
Trying to
Go.
poke it, I should say.
Mike, don't you dare. I know it's
Wait, what?
fun, but I know you also want Terry to live. Trust me, if you want Terry to live, don't mess with those things at all.
So I'm gonna put my
I'm
arms
looking
up
back
in
and
the air.
forth
So-
from
so-
Mike to Morgana.
She can see me, but Terry's the only one that can hear me. So I'm gonna throw my hands up in the air, and I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't do nothing. Didn't touch nothing. It's Terry, look at me. I can't touch nothing. You know that.
Can't touch this. Nah.
All right, you two, we really need to go though. So I want to open up a portal to the Never Never and lead Terry and Mike through the land of fairy.
Essentially, Morgana said, enough of your shit. Get through the Never.
Wait.
She's just too polite to say it.
Did
Is just kind of pointing back and forth because normally that's not how that works. Like, the only time you're going to see Mike if he's in the middle of like scaring the shit out of you.
He manifested visually, Terry.
He did.
I did?
He doesn't normally do that.
I did. What did I do? Terry, what's going on?
Yet another thing we'll come back to later.
Let's go.
First- okay.
Are we? What is that? What? There's a. Did she?
Mike, I don't know. Can you do me a favor? And this is relevant to Terry's interests. So, what is his experience in this brief transit through the Never Never?
So in this particular case, so actually, Prim, I'm gonna have you describe, because I imagine you've traveled through the Never Never from your shop before. So tell me what kind of area you would expect to see on the other side of your shop.
The area I would expect to see on the other side of my shop is probably a portion of the lands of fairy, but not a very dangerous portion of it. Probably at the edges of an area of the lands of fairy that is bathed in a perpetual twilight and an almost perpetual autumn. It has a strange draw to Morgana, and she doesn't exactly know why that is. But essentially, very peaceful, sort of sunset autumnal woods where everything is just a little more fantastic than you would expect a normal forest scene to be. So maybe some dancing, glowy fairy lights sort of in the woods, things of that nature. Just everything's a little more magical and fantastic.
So that's the description of it, but something feels off about the Never Never. And Terry, this is your first time going through it. Not only are like you just in awe, but it's like you're used to people being off put by your grace.
Yes.
There's something unsettling about this to you.
Terry is distinctly awestruck by the experience. He's kind of well attuned to unusual metaphysical sensations. It's his business, you know. So you can actually see Terry focusing with an intense passion, even as we're moving along at a good pace. Like, he starts to get distracted by things that you pass, but he doesn't slow down. In fact, let me see, just for myself. Let's see how good a job I do. Not terrible. But, yeah, but please continue.
Is this Rhode Island? This looks like Rhode Island.
It's not Rhode Island. So Morgana, you being a wanderer of the ways, you kind of know it's going to take a specific location. And you're not going to end up like exactly right in front or in the shop, but you're going to end up with like in blocks of the alchemist shop you're trying to get to.
Oh yeah, and she knows it, but it's a lot safer than trying to cross the entire city.
Right. Especially when there's things out there that have been flipping cars and smashing pickups and
And she saw the fucking claw marks on either side of her apartment door. She's like,
right.
So, in all seriousness, is there a danger for me being here?
Nope.
Okay, just making
Because
sure.
like you're a creature essentially. If you weren't bound to Terry and you had passed over, spirits reside in specific planes of the Never Never. So this is a place that you've never experienced, but like your plane that you are used to quasi interacting with, being a spirit, is kind of a plane where everything's grayed out, washed out, lacking color. It's just, but it looks like the real world. You see the happenings of the real world. It's just kind of lacking that vividness that comes with life.
All right. I can't help but feel like I'm a little bugged out by this. Just
by
a
how
little.
vivid the land of fairy is.
Yeah, it's a little unnerving for Mike, who's the the limit of his experience in life was probably Tool's music videos. So I'm gonna blink out and just hide behind Terry.
Terry's eyes are still just kind of bugged out of his head a little bit, and he's on a constant swivel.
So you make your way through the Never, and it's what feels like being maybe a 15-20 minute walk through the Never Never. When you arrive to go out the other side with Morgana, and I mean it's a pretty uneventful travel, other than seeing these flashing lights and moving trees and everything just kind of extra vibrant in color. Would you say soulful a little bit, Morgana?
Yeah, I would definitely say soulful.
So as you approach this edge of this fantastical forest, and as you're approaching the trees that go into the forest, there's a specific tree that has a marking on it, that Morgana approaches, and it's kind of you don't know where these markings in the Never Never came from, but through your wandering of the ways, you've kind of noticed this is a marker that gets you to another section of New Orleans that should place you relatively close to the alchemist shop.
All right. So whenever I approach that marking, open up the portal and we're stepping back out.
So as everyone makes their way back into New Orleans, when you had left, it was probably say 2-3 in the morning. It is full brightness, midday, fair amount of traffic, as if hours had passed in this 20-minute walk.
Oh shit.
Terry is going to come back into focus on the task at hand in a moment, but for right now, he's quite somber, and he says in your direction, "Ma'am." That was to Morgana.
Yeah.
"I consider myself something of a specialist in matters mortal and divine. That was neither. I'd like to ask you about it sometime."
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Right now we have more pressing matters.
Yes, that's
Let's
right.
go.
So, Up the stairs into the potions lounge.
All right. The potions lounge is actually, as you go through the door, it's locked. It's outside of business hours, and with the hecticness, the craziness, I don't know the correct word for it, but the frenzy of the night before, it's locked down.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Terry, do you have any way to get in contact with the alchemists at all?
If there's
Still
somebody
got the
inside, I might be able to
card.
help Terry.
He bangs on the door a little bit just in case somebody can hear it, but then he starts digging around for the card again and checks it for a phone number.
There is an office number on it.
You want to try this one? You got the phone.
Yeah, it's the best thing we have. And I pull out one of the burner phones and dial the number.
Phone rings for a brief moment when someone hastily picks up the phone and shouts, "What do you want?"
Yes, this is Morgana Doran.
Who?
Terry's holding out his hand.
Hold on. Let me let you speak to my associate, and I hand the phone to Terry.
Hey, this is Terry. I was in the lounge a while ago. I brought in John. I got the stuff you need.
Fantastic. I'll send someone down shortly. And they hang up.
All right, we're here. He ends up. So I figured that'd be a little faster. They're a bit cagey, you know.
You hear,
Yeah, no
like,
shit.
as you're talking, you just hear coming down, like, hearing from the other side of the door. Sounds like someone's darting down the stairs. You hear a thud as someone, like, bangs into the door, starts, like, fiddling with the locks, opens up the door, is the big man who lent you his truck.
Hello, my friend. She's brought us the stuff we need. You have the thing still?
Yeah, quick, upstairs.
All right, I'm rushing up.
Up we go.
Terry, he didn't ask about the truck. Let's not mention it, okay?
So you guys race upstairs. You get to the top of the stairs. As the big man gets to the top of the stairs, he shuffles you all back into the kitchen. John is just still sprawled out on the, like, kitchen counter, production counter. Incense is burning in the air. John is still just unresponsive, and everyone just looks worn out, exhausted. And as you walk in, Amelia kind of looks at you with this sparkle of hope in her eye. Have it?
Yes, I have it in my hands. I hold it out. Says, "This enough?"
It better be. And may I?
Yes, absolutely.
So she grabs it from you. She throws it into this wooden, what looks like a chopping board, pulls out a giant meat cleaver and just starts smashing it into small bits and pieces. Eventually she takes it, combines it with some other ingredients inside of like a mortar and pestle, makes this like paste out of it, and starts to rub it over John's eyes. After doing that, she burns some other incense that she pulls out of a drawer, and she closes her eyes and just starts reciting words of a language that no one here is really familiar with. And she just enters this trance state. The big guy kind of walks over to the group and says, "Oh, I hope this works. It's getting kind of dicey."
We're all concerned about John too, so yeah, I hope it works too.
Terry observes respectfully from a distance. He knows a religious ritual when he sees one.
So this honestly can take a while. This is either going to go really well or horribly wrong at this point. So why don't you look like you've been up a while. Why don't you go And feel free. You can use the couch in the back office if you need to catch a nap, or and if you really need to talk to John, you want to come back. If this pans out, he's gonna need a couple of days of rest easily.
Well, I really hope it does, and I appreciate that offer. And I hate to have to tell you this, but I think the both of us have a new enemy in town.
What do you mean?
First off, I'd like to say I'm a very careful driver. And you have a
All
very
right.
nice truck.
Yes, it is.
Had, Terry. Had.
Drove it all the way there, not a scratch on it.
That's good.
You might remember the old woman that initially acquired that box.
You let an old woman drive my truck?
No, that old woman punched your engine block down through the chassis of your car and into the ground.
What? Did you get a look at her?
I can tell you exactly what she looks like, but I tell you again, she punched an engine block through your car and into the ground.
I've seen
Didn't have any
stranger
help.
things. What can you give me a description of the details?
I provide him the description of the woman, and I tell him she was hanging around the shop, but that she's incredibly bad news.
Hanging
I
around our
watched
shop?
her- No. The
Oh,
my acquaintance's shop here. That she's provided the petrified palm for you. It's a little ways downtown, but John had come round earlier, so I think it's probably a little related to everything that's going on here.
well, damn right. Sounds too much of a coincidence. Well, I appreciate this
It's-
information. Since a lot of our people here aren't going to be much use, I guess we have some old books we can do some research on. Maybe when you come back in a couple of days, if things pan out, maybe we'll have some more information. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's been a long night.
Oh, it's been a very long one.
Undoubtedly, and I would like some information as well, so you can see me back here in a few days.
I look forward to meeting you and hopefully on better conditions.
Let's hope.
When they come out of it, tell them we'll be back, I guess.
So is the babushka lady
You're good
gonna,
people.
Is the babushka lady gonna come out of his nose like I did?
Terry looks down. He smirks just a little bit. Mike can still get him, even when he's doing something serious. Every time. Yeah. This is the end of our limitations. Now it is simply God and her skill. Let us hope both are up to this task. And Terry proceeds to exit the Potions Lounge.
All right.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. Nice meeting you. Bye. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry about the truck.
All right. Morgana, you go with?
Yeah, I'm going with.
All right. You exit the shop. What
All
next?
What's Gillard up to? I want to hear about Gillard.
Gillard. You find that you get a good night's rest. You wake up. What time did you normally wake up?
Six.
Your alarm and servant did not wake you up. It's now about 9:30.
What? Oh, that was too loud too. Oh man. Oof.
A little bit of a hangover.
The worst migraine I've ever had in my life.
What was in that wine? All right, so you wake up, you kind of stumble through your apartment, imagine get a glass of water, pop a couple of ibuprofen, a couple of Tylenol, secret hangover mix,
Hmm.
and you go about your day.
That's better. Oh, ouch. Whew.
So tell me about Jalard's routine, typically between the hours of say like 9:30 and 11:30 in the morning.
Mm, morning trades, check the markets, yada yada. Investments, such and such makes me want to go back to sleep. Ugh. Shareholders, such and such I'm already tired. And lunch. Finally lunch. Ugh. Finally lunch. Prosciutto. Prosciutto. It saves my life. Mm.
Just a plate of prosciutto?
Dishes with prosciutto, yes. Fancy dishes with my personal chef. Food. It makes my life entirely. And after lunch, more shareholders and more people that are angry. People that I have to deal with and investments. Yeah, monotony is what it is. It's just monotony. Full on
All right.
wall to wall sameness. The same standard more on top haircut, white guy with a tie agreeing with everything I say. This is great.
So throughout all of these meetings that you're in and the calls and the conferences and the monotony of the day,
And the conference calls with people who don't know how to work the technology.
there you go. You keep glancing over and you just keep noticing this bundle of hair that was on your counter, and you keep thinking about what did Morgana mean? It's Freddy.
And why is that on my counter?
I don't know.
That's disgusting. That's
You
another thing
drank a
to
lot.
be an idiot about. Ugh, come on. Unsanitary. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I roll my eyes as the meeting drones on. This white guy chose to wear a light blue shirt. Great.
He's a maverick.
Yeah, he's a real trendsetter, that one. Watch out.
So about 11:30 rolls around. That's the same time that Prim and Terry are getting out of uh, the lounge. Do you guys decide to call over to Gillard at this point, or are you guys going in a different route?
Terry wouldn't have a particular inclination to. Morgana might. Terry's he's kind of at an impasse, so he'd probably stand there and think for a moment outside of the potions lounge while Morgana's doing stuff.
Terry, I'm about to head back to the shop. I should probably man it, and I need to nail up some plywood over the windows to secure the shop until I can get a glass person out to replace all of the glass in the windows. If you want to, you can go upstairs and take a nap in my apartment. The sheets are clean, and I'm probably gonna be staying at my old childhood home for a while.
Are you gonna head back the same way we got here?
Uh, I think I'm pretty wiped magically. So I'm just gonna take a walk.
I'll take you up on it anyways. It's very generous.
All right. So I from the potions lounge, I'm going to walk back to the shop and I'll probably call Gillard whenever I get there.
Okay. Um,
While we were on the way there, though, Terry would ask things.
okay. What kind of
Terry
things would Terry
has
ask?
questions, and he's a real upfront kind of guy. So once you've gotten a good pace going, he would be kind of off in speaking range, matching your pace, and he'd say, "So where were we?"
Well, kid, there is an entire world, an entire layer to this reality, and it's a spirit world.
Indeed, but it is a luminous place, and I'm pretty sure you can't just open up a door there.
Yeah, well, there are multiple realms, multiple areas in the spirit world, and they all sort of they sit on top of this one, and the closest one to our reality, the mundane world, is, oh god, I'm going to sound a little crazy.
Oh no, please go on.
The realm we went through is called the Lands of Fairy.
Fairy.
So those old fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm, all those
Yeah, I know them.
are real.
Now, when you say real, how real are we talking here?
Ask her if she knows Tinkerbell. It's very important.
Mike wants to know if you know Tinkerbell. I think that's a valid question. It depends on how this goes.
I mean, there are a lot of pixies that exist. I haven't met anyone that's named Tinkerbell in particular. I don't know if the Tinkerbell and Peter Pan is based off of a real life pixie or if it was just a fictional pixie.
Can you shake them like a salt shaker like they did in the movie and fly?
You probably could, but that would be rude, Mike. That would be rude. Terry's thinking now. The wheels are turning. He's just kind of. He's rubbing at his chin as they walk, and he says, "Yes, some of the later scholars in the Mediterranean speculated that there might have been a plane of intellect in addition to the material and to the luminous. It was very strange being there. There was a sense of being somehow more and less than." He waves a dismissive hand at reality, all of this.
Yeah, the realm of fairy is a realm where everything that you know is just more. It's a plane that deals in dreams, stories, and metaphors, operates on the word of law versus the spirit of law, and it is a realm of nature and magic run untethered and wild and boundless and free. And it's a very, very bright plane.
Can't believe it. The damn Manichians were right. Who was gonna guess that?
Well, she did,
Who
obviously.
lives there?
She took us there. Is she
Who
a
lives
queen?
there?
I bet she's royalty.
Who lives there? Basically, fairies and other creatures of myth, pixies, satyrs, uh, hell, the queens of fairy are real.
Fairies. Is that what they were trying to call? Is that what they thought a Logos was? God, that's so strange. Terry is like rapidly fitting his worldview around this information. He's pretty good at that. This is a very important skill for a cult leader.
Oh God, Terry.
Yeah, Mike?
I know that look. I've seen you get that look, and you cannot You cannot proselytize the fairy realm.
I shouldn't need to, Mike. They're a step closer to God than the likes of us. Well, the likes of me. They're probably a bit more like you than they are like me.
Do you remember
But
when we went
One
in?
more step away from this.
Do you remember when we went into Oklahoma City and you were like, "I'm gonna spread the word," and I was like, "Terry, I've read about this place. This is the meth capital of the world. You don't need to do that here. It's gonna end poorly." And you remember what happened? Remember the people with the
You were
bottles, the
right.
bricks?
You were right. But
You said that
that
was
was
the
a
homeland, and they were closer to God too.
different God. But you were there. You were there, Mike, with me. You saw that place. It was a lot of things. It was
It
not
spooked me.
Oklahoma City.
No, you're that's very no. Yeah, you're right on that one. But no, I that place spooked me a little, Terry. I feel like I felt less than me because that place was more than you. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. They will tell you that their God is an awesome God. It is easy to forget that awesome means terrifying. Awe is fear, Mike.
Right.
So
You saying
fearful is probably correct.
I should be afraid?
Yes. I mean, like, what are they gonna do here? Kill you?
Well, I mean, no.
Yeah, but there, the rules are something else entirely.
Yeah, I don't like those rules. I've already been through that nonsense once, Terry. Death was not fun.
Terry turns back to Morgana at this point. He's been just carrying on this conversation. He's so lost in thought that, like, he's not being particularly deceptive. Like, probably a passerby would think he's rather strange.
So at this point, the party arrives at Morgana's shop. And I imagine, Morgana, you wanted to start kind of boarding up the shop, cleaning up while offering Terry to go sleep upstairs.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I will hand Terry a spare key to the apartment upstairs, and I am going to get some plywood and start boarding up the windows first and foremost.
Okay.
You probably got a
Terry
stash of
actually,
them
like,
somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta keep that for hurricanes.
while she's fetching those, Terry cleans a bunch of the shattered glass and stuff away from the windows, so she has an easier time of it. And then he does go up to try and take a nap.
Okay. So everything goes by pretty uneventfully. Mike is, I imagine, rummaging through Morgana's house while Terry sleeps.
Everything in the house, yes.
And I'm probably going to take some of these shopwares back downstairs from the apartment, including the mandrakes, before Terry takes a nap.
It's probably wise.
Yeah.
Terry may not wake up from his nap if that's left alone with.
A
He
certain
would
someone.
just have to pull a very important trick out of the back pocket. It's fine.
All right. So everything goes through.
All right.
It's quiet.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying everything goes by quiet.
Oh, quiet. Okay. I thought you were about to like say while and then lead into something, but okay.
Not yet.
I can
Well,
rifle
with-
through your belongings in complete silence, actually, so you're good.
Well, with everything boarded up, the shop is still open, so I'm going to pretty much man the shop as normal. But after everything's done, I'm going to give Jalar a call.
So during this time, you board everything up, but you don't actually get any customers because the police and the city still have your shop taped off because of the damaged concrete in front of your shop.
True. So I'll probably just close up the shop at this time.
Okay.
and just turn the close sign, make sure everything's locked.
Yeah, it's gonna be easily a week before the city gets a crew out to like repair the damage.
Yeah, true. I can file it on my business insurance, so.
There you go. The RP of dealing with insurance companies. Instantly
What did we do
lose
to deserve
viewers.
that?
Now Mike's really afraid.
Talk about soul suckers. So Jallard, as you're making it through like your 5th call for the day, and you're just bored out of your minds on these.
I literally have the audio for the Wii games playing in the background. But I have the version of it that's just like half a key off. So
Oh,
it's like
That would be the Wii Shop channel.
dun, dun, dun.
Or no, that would be the Me channel. Which either one of those, but no, the Wii Sports are just da 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 da.
Not the sports, but the me apparently. It's the
Yeah,
me channel because
we know what you're talking about.
this is killing me, lol. I
But
roll. Silos and productiveness and efficiency and manufacturing and shareholders and
I brought you the song in the Big Easy channel, by the way.
Perfect.
Let's see if Nintendo DMCA's this part of the stream.
Absolutely. Well, actually, no. Does making every note a random pitch throw off the auto detect?
It might.
The content ID.
Nintendo also doesn't really seem to DMCA videos that feature their music in it, strangely.
Oh, all right. Sourcing Nintendo. Sourcing Ploxy Zero, actually. So this is what you hear while you're on your calls.
Muted the entire time, like on push to talk, because I'm dying laughing sometimes. This is great. I don't even need to know what he's saying because I know what he's saying. He's saying the same stuff.
While
He's
you're
trying to tell you about
chuckling,
some numbers.
while you're chuckling about one particularly funny note that gets hit, your phone starts to ring.
Oh, a reason to not be in this call. Lovely.
Do you answer your own phone, or do you expect your assistant to answer it and screen your calls?
I look at the phone. I look at my assistant. I look at my assistant. I look around for something to throw at my assistant. Oh, here's an ink pen from the notes I'm not taking for the meeting that's happened for the 50th time. I clearly don't need notes for this. Let me just yeet this pen over. Yeet!
Pen flies through the air, slaps him in the side of the face, and he kind of startles up from his dozed off daydreaming state. Oh, I'm sorry, sorry, sir.
I just put my hands out, palm up, like.
He hurries over. He takes the phone, quickly answers you. Hello.
Back to the soul sucking.
Hey, this is Morgana Doran. Can I speak to Jallard?
May I ask the nature of the call? And you kind of hear him cover the phone and say, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, this is with respect to matters that we discussed last night over a mutual friend of ours.
And I'm sorry, your name one more time?
Morgana Doran.
He covers the phone and says, "Excuse me, sir. Do you know Morgana Dorn? She's mentioning that it's in relations to a conversation."
I just reached my hand out for the phone, like.
Oh.
I push to talk and go, Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm getting an urgent call. And then go back to muted. Just grab
The
my
assistant makes his way over, picks up the pen, starts to clean up.
clean up. Did the pen shatter? I mean,
No, but he's trying to make himself look busy now, so that way you don't throw more stuff at him.
great. He's getting it. He's learning. That's good. That's good. Toddlers can do that. Yeah. All right. Hello.
Hey, Gillard, it's Morgana. Hope I'm not interrupting you.
Oh no. Please, this is a welcome distraction.
That's good. I just recently boarded up my shop after the windows were shattered yesterday, so everything's a little quiet here right now, at least for the time being. And I got a letter under my door that I assume is like the one you got. It has a tuft of black fur in it and a note with an address on it.
Hmm. Well, I guess somebody's doing some trimming. I don't know what this is about. I don't know why. I don't know why people would be sending us tufts of Freddy's cat's fur. I don't understand any of this.
I can only assume from it that Freddy's in danger. It's something that I don't want to reveal to you about Freddy, just because he did tell me what I know about him in confidentiality. It's not something related to a pet, I will say that, but this tuft of black fur, like, coupled with an address, it feels to me more like a traditional ransom note, and I just have a really sneaking suspicion that Freddy's in trouble.
Maybe this would be easier if we met in person.
Yeah, probably would be.
My interest is piqued now that there are secrets. Yes. You haven't fully explained this to me, but I'm pretty sure Freddy's a furry. That's why there's fur. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point. It's not a cat. What else do you think I'm gonna think? All right.
You're closer to the truth
Let's do this.
than
Blackmail imminent. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. I'm never gonna let him live this down.
I'm just saying.
I am never gonna let him live this down.
You're closer to the truth than you probably imagine.
I haven't said that, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, oh man.
Then I didn't hear that.
Can you imagine? Oh.
I didn't say that. I mean,
that I'm gonna go on.
I am not going to be running a furry campaign. Just because I do not want those people angry with me on the internet.
Too late.
Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just gonna say blackmail in a minute. Yeah.
All right, so call ends. You guys agreed to meet at, what is it, Morgana's shop or somewhere neutral?
And I mean, I know where the shop is because I've been there, so I guess that would be the only place, right?
And it's a simple place.
Yeah, I'll just meet you there since you said you're there boarding the windows and stuff.
Yeah, it's the easiest.
Boarding walls. Whatever Brayton, Graydon is talking in this meeting is like transitioned to a PowerPoint with a white background, and I'm just like, all right. Yeah, no. It's not like I need to see this, it's the same presentation. So I roll my eyes dramatically even though you can't see it. And I'm like, all right, I'll meet you there.
All right. See you in a minute.
After the call ends, I swear under my breath, and I'm like, not like I was busy anyway. And I look at the meeting video feed, and some people are clapping about something. I mean, who knows?
So you just shrug and hang up on the call.
Yeah, they won't notice.
Okay.
There's 257 people in this meeting.
All right.
So I hang up. I cut the computer completely off. Dead. Done. All right. Now I can go. Oh, internet problems. I don't know what happened. I'm already like making up what the excuse is gonna be. Who knows? The internet. The technician said it'll be out here before the 8th and the 17th. It'll sometime between then, and I'll need to be available between the hours of 10 and 2. I'm just making up stuff. The technician is not gonna come when they say there's
You've called
windows,
off
by
of
the way.
video calls a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
I love it.
have to for my own sanity, right? Like,
When you invent the story that early, you can start believing it in advance, which is very important. You have to believe it a little bit.
I spent 2 hours on the phone with my internet service provider and listen to that dial tone, man. It was a pain. It sounds real, doesn't it? Yeah, it sounds real.
So I imagine the driver, you call for your driver to have you take you to Morgana's shop.
Of course, I'm not gonna drive myself. What am I, a peasant?
So your driver takes you there. While the entire time you're just kind of working through the excuse in your head. You pull up to Morgana's shop and make your way in.
Take a deep breath. Just glad to be rid of whatever.
I'd say at this point,
Garbage.
Terry, you've woken up too.
All right, I'm kind of stretched out.
If I'm at
My
the front,
stomach is complaining loudly that there's no food in it, but that's pretty normal.
if I'm
I
at
give
the
up.
front, if I'm at the front of the shop, do I have to go around the tape?
You'd have to like crawl under the tape and
I don't
go over the
crawl.
busted. Not crawl, like you
Duck.
duck, yeah. Do you want your driver to lift you over the tape? Here you go, sir.
You get to feel cool. You get to feel like, the agent arriving at the scene.
Easier. Just have the driver lift up the tape for him.
Okay, is the tape attached to very easily movable cones that will shift if I lift it up?
I mean, they're tied to like those wooden street construction. They're
Like
not
a
like
wooden
cones,
horse?
but like
Yeah.
horses.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll like lift it up, and if it knocks something over, I'm gonna keep walking and be like, it's not my problem. Just tapes in the way.
No, they I mean, it's the tape has some give to it, so you're able to get through it, no problem.
Great. You're just like, whoop. All right, because I'm not crawling under anything. The world conforms to me. I don't know if you've heard. And here we go. Plywood on the windows. All right. Do I knock on the door?
I don't know. What do you do?
I assess the door with
Well, I'll
disdain.
probably see Gillard because the door I imagine is like a French door. So not a French door, but a door that's like, wooden and it has a window in it, like a window pane. So it's like I see Gillard at the door and I'm going to go over and unlock the door and let him in.
I'm not gonna knock. I might get a splinter.
So while you open up the door, you see there Gillard just kind of deep in thought, kind of mumbling to himself.
Hey, Gillard. Glad you can make it.
All right. I wish I could say I'm glad to be here, but I mean, holds up the envelope clearly.
Yeah, same. And I hold up my own envelope.
All right. Well, if you allow me to, I'll step in.
Of course. Like, that's why I opened up the door.
Yeah, But you can tell from the way I'm stepping that I almost twisted my ankle. Like, almost.
Not used to such rigorous physical activity.
No, but like the concrete being broken up outside, I just walked through that with way too much confidence and speed and almost twisted my ankle. Like, ooh,
You're all right there.
these shoes are not made for whatever your pavement is doing.
There was a lot of weird shit that happened yesterday.
Clearly. I mean, here we are.
Yeah, obviously.
Do we by chance hear the new voice downstairs?
Yeah,
Do I recognize the voice?
it sounds familiar to you.
I will investigate.
So you phase through the floor, kind of stick your head down.
Face first.
You notice Shallard.
I immediately become visible with the most exaggerated expression of excitement on my face, and I float down arms wide in front of Gillard and start mouthing the word, "It's my best friend in the whole world."
Shallard, how do you respond to this?
What? Oh, it's the creepy one. Why are you here?
Mike, is Terry awake?
Dodge, avoid, dodge.
I nod.
Hands up in the air, like, get away from me. Oh, take a few steps to the left, like,
Coming in for the ghost hug.
ah.
Gillard, I apologize. A lot of what I was doing last night was helping out Terry and Mike with John. And whenever we were done with John's organization that he's a member of, I loaned my bed to Terry to let him catch some shut-eye. We were up all night.
I'm pointing at myself, like to say me too.
Phrasing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see me. You just can't hear me.
All right.
So anyways, Terry may or may not be down in a second, but
Oh, I hold my finger up and zip up through the roof.
all right, Mike.
Has showered for what seems like the first time in a while in a shower that did not have cockroaches and cockroach ghosts as company.
Terry, Terry.
This is great.
Yeah, Mike.
Terry.
He's scratching at his hair.
It's Gillard. Gillard's here. Gillard's downstairs. Come on. I need you to talk for me.
Yeah, I'll be there. He
Hurry up.
finishes putting his shirt on. He's just got the purple pants and the white shirt. He has elected not to put on the full jacket and become as stylish as he can be. So he almost looks like a normal person in normal clothes.
Meanwhile,
perhaps
Mike looks
even
like
a little
kid.
Fashionable.
Mike looks like a kid on Christmas morning whose parents are taking too long to get out of bed.
So Terry walks downstairs barefoot.
I'm bouncing around him.
Okay.
Hello there, Gillard.
Mike's standing behind Terry, clapping excitedly.
Hey kid, how was the nap?
Oh, it was great. I also borrowed your shower. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I think you probably needed it.
Yeah, there was a
I can
little
tell.
bit of dust and blood and motor oil and just everything.
I'm just listening to the less creepy one talk and nodding along.
Oh, it's a damn shame when Terry's the less creepy one. He's not trying hard enough.
Gillard
Grace
might mean me.
Your Grace is off-putting. Mike is just off-putting.
Yeah.
Like me. Mike hasn't had pudding in a long time. Thank you very much.
Mike's just like skeevy, like weird, like way too much, you know. And Terry's just like eerie, like, ugh.
Terry, is it too early to tell Gillard that I love him?
Mike says hello, Gillard. That's what he wanted me to come tell you. He wanted me to come tell you. He said hello.
I said I
Oh,
love him.
um,
It's my new
hey,
best friend.
I guess.
Can we go for a ride in his car?
So yeah, Freddy.
Mhm.
At this point, I open up the envelope and look at the ransom note. Do I recognize the address at all, or about where the location of it is?
So this is actually the first time that you've actually, like, before you pulled the hair out, but there was no like letter. But you do notice there is actually just an address written on the inside of the envelope.
Yeah, do I recognize that address?
Nope.
No, like not even about where in New Orleans it is.
Uh, you notice it's off of a highway that's leads out of New Orleans.
Hmm. So, Jalar, do you recognize this address at all?
You guys have like
Out,
Route
I take out
66 type roads out there?
I take out my envelope and compare it to the address on hers to make sure it's the same, and then I shake my head and roll my eyes. What?
There's
I don't
probably
drive
a state
anywhere.
highway that gets through there somewhere.
That's what that's for, and I just point outside carelessly.
True. Um, what do you think we should do about this? I mean, obviously, like, I get a bad feeling from this. I think Freddy's in danger. Should we follow it, you think? I don't really have anything to do because I won't have business for probably about a week until the city comes out and fixes the sidewalk, and I need to call a glass company to come out and put new windows into my shop.
Well, I'm contemplating something out of character using one of my stunts here.
Oh, oh, oh. Gillard stunt. I've been waiting for Gillard stunt.
Since we're not in any sort of a combat situation, let me go ahead and do this for the first time ever in the history of ever. Two boxes provide two minor NPCs or significant pieces of illegal gear, stolen car, guns, or drugs. Can I check two boxes of favor to get two NPCs to be my security guards that go ahead of me to this place?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can.
All right. I do so. Those are my associates.
Business
Not gonna,
associates.
yeah, I'm not gonna say business, but I'll just say associates. You know, sometimes in combat regions they have private contractors that work in tandem with the military. So he's not ex-military per se, but there's a lot of stuff there you can't talk about. So those people go there to
So you're
check out
sending
the.
scouts ahead.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
not
that.
going. I'm not going anywhere by myself again. People getting shot at. I'm having to run out of a window. All sorts of emergency situations where I could use somebody actually watching my back for once.
After
This place
yesterday, that's a
is
smart idea,
really
Jallard.
good.
I like that.
I mean, look at me. I'm worth too much. I'm worth too much for this.
Terry's been
nodding.
sitting on the counter, listening along, not really like engaged too much, just politely. But you can hear his stomach louder than you thought a human stomach could go.
You are right there?
Mike is completely engrossed, hanging on your every word and nodding along and in compliance and agreement.
Terry looks confused for a second, and then he goes, "Oh no, it just does that. Just does that. I suppose I should eat."
Yeah, it might be a smart idea to grab a bite.
I hate to impose on you further, but is there any food in the kitchen?
There might be, and I could probably grab a bite to eat myself. Gillard, if you want anything, you're welcome to the fridge as well.
Nah.
All right, well,
I think I'm good.
come up anyways, cause I think I'm gonna go up there and grab a bite. And Terry, of course, you're welcome to my food as well. So with that, I'm going to head back upstairs.
Shrug. I'll follow too.
Mhm.
I'll follow.
So everyone goes back up to the apartment. I imagine you're awaiting response from the recon team.
Yeah, they'll text me. But as I look around the apartment, I notice that it's smaller than my walk-in closet. But I don't say anything because that would be rude.
So about an hour and a half goes by from you contacting your what I'll call your recon team. And you get a text indicating that the address leads to an old drive-in theater outside of the town of, this is where I'm gonna butcher the name, Ponchatoula.
Close enough.
Ponchatoula is close enough.
So yeah, it's gonna be outside Ponchatoula. It's an old kind of abandoned movie theater.
All right, I'll tell them to stay there. But if I see them, they're fired.
Do you tell them this in text?
No, I think they know that. Obviously, I've said it enough times. If I see you, you're fired.
Gillard's
Okay.
telling his recon team, stay hidden.
Yeah, if I can see you, come on.
All right.
Well, we've eaten. I guess we head out.
All right, let's see how we're gonna fit these people in the car. Like, I start trying to figure out the situation, thinking of Mike as someone who had won his own seat, but then I remember that he's just a ghost.
Yeah. Jillard doesn't realize I'm going to be sitting in his lap.
All right, no. First
You
of
might
all,
not want to make yourself visible for that.
so I'm just gonna, I guess, I'm not sitting next to the driver. You guys do that. I'll sit in the back.
So I'm gonna ask Morgana. It's been a bit. Do you plan on napping before heading out, or are you going out after like pretty much 24 hours no sleep?
I think Morgana got a little bit of sleep before the pixie showed up because she pretty much called it in early that night and then woke up at, say, 2 a.m. or 1:30 or whenever the whole pixie shenanigans happened in her house. She got a little bit of sleep.
We're like a day later at this point. Because you have to remember going through ferry, like time jumped you.
I thought it was only like
You time jumped from like 3 in the morning to like 10 o'clock, 9:30, something like that.
yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, I'll probably go out, honestly.
Okay.
Morgana's probably feeling okay.
Okay. No, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
If she suffers negative effects, well, you know what? She's going anyways.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make a mental note of it.
Yeah.
And particularly in case like you said that you were going to take a nap or something, I didn't want to be like, "Oh, pull something up," and you'd be like, "No, I slept." It's like, "Oh, damn."
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Laying
no.
the groundwork for it now.
No, we're going.
Foreshadowing.
Very nice. Now, the most important question going from New Orleans to Ponchatoula. Do you take the bridge or do you not take the bridge?
That's for you to tell me.
Hey, I don't know. I don't drive. What do I care?
For those who have not been in the vicinity of New Orleans, may have never seen it,
I've ridden on it, or not ridden, driven across it.
the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge is the most interesting and least interesting piece of road in the world.
I have a picture of a U-Haul truck that was on fire on the side of the road on that bridge.
Oh, he's there all the time.
Yeah, that's just where they live. It's their natural habitat.
I've been stuck on the bridge for 6 hours before because of a wreck.
Ooh.
It was awful.
Yeah, clearly I don't like to sit in traffic, so my driver, who is navigating us to this address, would probably choose to go around that. If that's the case, traffic tends to be pretty bad because he knows I'm going to find something back here and throw it at the back of his head.
It's probably going to be about the same amount of time either way, really.
Yeah, but fortunately, you can get to Ponchatoula over the highway, so you can avoid that Lake Pontchartrain Expressway.
Yeah, because if I have to think about how shoddy the workmanship is that went into this bridge and how nobody actually examines it or has to inspect it, and the inspectors, if they even find something structurally wrong with this bridge, they can report to somebody who does not have to listen to them, and that structural fault can exist there for years because no one actually has to listen to what the bridge inspectors say to them, then I'll get into a spiral of sorts that you can already hear starting to creep into my voice at this very moment.
Not to mention the prehistoric nutria rats that live down in the water.
Of course.
Oh my god.
The
It's a
what?
It
panic
makes me
attack.
feel that Gillard has a civil engineering background somehow.
It's a panic attack waiting to happen. Stop me before it starts. Take the highway.
All right, so you take the highway there. It's about just under an hour's drive, I believe.
I need a larger car.
Everyone's.
Or a
What
smaller
car
group of
did you
friends.
have the driver take? I imagine it's an SUV, but you let me know.
Yeah, it's an SUV, but it's the new one, so.
What color?
I am all over that vehicle.
Black. I'm gonna have to burn it now.
I'm bouncing around seat to seat, looking out the windows, checking under the hood,
I'm gonna have to have this thing
looking longingly at Gillard.
If you're looking at me where I can see you, I look back at you with like a cringe face, like.
Yeah, honestly, you have no idea how immune to that Mike was even before he died. That's normal. Terry.
Terry's kicked back. He's almost asleep again. Like a shower, clothes that are only 2 days old, food, a full stomach. He wasn't even paying attention. He shouldn't be in this car. He does not care.
Terry.
Peacefully, without opening his eyes. Yeah, Mike?
Ask Gillard if I can drive the driver.
Now, Mike, you know the answer's no.
This is a once in a death time opportunity. Come on.
Now, let's first get a matter of etiquette. You shouldn't ask Gillard. You're supposed to ask the driver.
Well, isn't she isn't he the wait, how does this work? Is it employed or indentured servitude, or I don't know how rich people work. You're gonna have to explain this to me.
The answer is yes, but I'm not listening, so.
I don't feel like explaining that particular issue to the driver, Mike. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to wait for the next opportunity.
You know, I've been sitting up there next to the driver for a little bit, and believe me, he's hating life anyway. He'd probably welcome the distraction.
Terry still hasn't opened his eyes. His head is like fully, comfortably back on the headrest. Says, now, Mike, if you can talk him into it, that's between you and him.
But he can't hear me, Terry.
That does sound like a problem, doesn't it, Mike?
I'm going to end up phasing up there and sitting next to him and trying to calmly explain what I want to do. And he's going to look over and say, oh, this dude just floated through the passenger seat and is trying to mouth something at me. He's probably saying, I want to eat your soul. I am the devil incarnate. Let's wreck this car and all die. That's what he's going to hear, Terry.
And you see, Mike, how that would interrupt my peaceful intermission here.
Which is why I came to you for help.
Mike, if I promise to steal a golf cart, will that make you happy?
But, well, I mean, it'd be worth it to see you steal anything, really.
I will find us a golf cart, Mike. Don't you worry.
All right, but you gotta let me drive.
Absolutely. The golf cart.
All right, I'll behave.
Terry's just smiling.
I didn't hear any of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you heard my half of it.
I'm just gonna go back to smiling and staring uncomfortably at Gillard.
Now, see, Gillard did not hear any of that because he chose to block all of that conversation out.
Oh yeah, you can totally ignore me. That's doable.
Now, you start talking about stealing stuff. I don't know what you mean. What? What? Where? Who? Where? What? Why? What? How? What? I have none of the answers. I've never heard of this in my life.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
Plausible deniability. You gotta practice it.
Is there room to sit next to Gillard?
As a normal person, not really, but you can make room. Would everyone be open for a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the time for it.
Cool. All right, let me do the BRB screen.
I'm being creeped out.
All right, and boom, and we're back. Sure, everything's unmuted appropriately. All right. So, been on the road for about an hour. You arrive into the Pancha Tula area. Just around, just getting close to sunset. Drive through the town. It's real quiet. Start approaching the where the theater address is, which is located off of, what's the highway there? Route 22.
Mm-hmm.
And you begin to approach the Skyline Theater. And I'm going to post a picture in Discord if I didn't close it of what this theater looks like.
I returned to the appropriate channel and saw the video again.
Image.
Dun-dun-dun.
Let me make sure I'm on the right Discord server.
Yeah, it might be wise.
All right, so this is what you see when Gillard's driver kind of pulls up to the entrance of the theater.
Did they drive us all the way back to your old church?
Oh, at that, Terry actually kind of gets his head up from the chair, like just a little residual panic always sets in. But he looks around and he says, "Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Definitely
No.
seen some better days, though."
You're right, but I still know how to wake you up when I need to.
Yeah, you got me.
So, if we wanted to get a cat, we could have just gone to the Humane Society.
Mike, I'm just along for the ride on this one.
Welcome to my world.
Do we want to get out and investigate, Gillard?
I think Gillard's
Oh, no.
muted.
We have accidentally left behind the Master Miss.
Gillard's just really deep in thought on, Jesus, this is definitely not constructually sound.
I'm just
What a
picturing
mess.
Gillard with the look on his portrait's face staring at Mike.
There's a whole pallet in the exit. So either we have to drive over the pallet and get nails in the tires, or we have to drive out of the entrance lane. It's the worst.
Sorry.
All good.
It's fine. We were filling in Gillard thoughts for you.
Well, all right. What am I thinking?
This place
We've
is
arrived at the
unstructurally sound.
It
exactly.
looks crappy. Yep.
Oh, and you hate Mike.
Of course.
We got this down.
It's like you've read and written my mind for. Yeah. You don't need me to roll my eyes for you, do you?
No. It's implied.
Yeah. At this point, I mean.
So do we want to get out and explore the area?
I guess we have no choice, right?
And
Yeah.
you could drive through if you wanted to. That's an option.
Through this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more sanitary. If you want to get out, you can, but I'll drive through.
Oh, we'll drive through. I was just thinking of stealth purposes, but yeah, let's.
Can
I'm
I
along
drive?
for the ride.
Can I drive through? Terry, can I drive through?
Oh, I
Whatever
think
you
you're
want,
better
it's your
suited
driver.
to scouting there, Mike.
Okay, where do you want me to go?
Oh, I've no idea. Terry sits up and he looks across at Morgana and Gillard and says, "A little late in the game to be asking now, but what precisely are you trying to get done here?"
Trying to see if anything's happened with Freddy.
You think you're gonna walk up and they'll just have him, tied to the post out front of the old drive-through screen?
I mean, hell, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We just received a wad of black cat fur and a note with an address. I know it's related to Freddy for reasons that Gillard doesn't. So we need to see what's up.
Oh, okay, Terry. I'll do this. I'm gonna look around at everybody in the car and do that thing where I put my hand above my face and then bring it down slowly and disappear as I do.
That's still a really good trick.
And of course, you can still see me, but I'm gonna take off through Gillard and out of the car.
Okay.
Anybody else just feel a chill?
Must be your AC. It's pretty strong.
I'm going to get as much altitude as I can and survey the area.
So you kind of float up into the sky above like the ticket booth area, and you see that's kind of a description to it, minus the truck in the background. You have you go through the ticket booth area, and you see everything's just kind of overgrown. The cement and the dirt gravel is kind of all broken up. Wildlife has kind of started to overgrow everywhere. There's a sign that used to list the different movies and times that they'd be projecting outside of the ticket area, and
marquee. That's
the
the
marquee. There you go. Behind the marquee was like the concession stand area, and then to the left of the marquee was where you would actually park and pull up to the cement speakers that you'd mount on your car. Not the cement speakers, but the cement poles that had the speakers on them.
Mm-hmm.
Be a heavy speaker.
Yeah. Try and mount that on your window. That's kind of what you see from the 40-foot view.
Back to the days of bedrock over there.
Yeah.
With a woodpecker that would play the sound for you.
We're going to the Flintstone Stone Age drive-ins.
Oh, yeah.
So do I see any movement or people or cats?
You don't. It looks eerily calm. No wildlife that you can see from here. Like if this was a movie, you'd hear like, hold on, let me do it again. I can't do it, damn it. Damn, I'm screwing it up. It's the wah 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 wah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. I can usually do it. Damn it.
So
Camera shy.
I'm gonna bolt around, kind of.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna bolt around, kind of a little lower to the ground, and kind of tip into the outlying buildings a bit.
The movie theater section, or not the movie theater, where like the concessions and stuff would be.
Yeah, and that little trailer, if that's actually a thing.
Trailer's not actually there.
Just any outlying buildings where somebody might be hiding.
Okay. We'll get back to you. What's everyone else doing? Or unless you're waiting for Mike to respond back in.
That's what I'd be doing. I'm not getting out of this car.
Okay.
Do you honestly think that I invested in bulletproof windows so I could step out into the path of the bullets?
I just want to give you options.
Don't give me stupid options.
Morgana's still in the car too.
I mean, I'm out of character, I'm sorry, but in character, nah.
You just noticed 2 of the tires go flat.
Oh, great. What did you drive over this time?
No. Out of character, that didn't happen. All right, Mike. So you go inside the concession stand area. And it's not overgrown like the outside, but it's definitely in a dilapidated state. All the equipment, the popcorn machines, that type of stuff, anything that could be removed has been removed. There's graffiti everywhere, cigarette butts on the ground. You can tell this is a type of area where like the high school kids would come and like hang out to smoke pot, the type of group that you might have used to hang out with.
Group I wish I could have hung out with.
There you go. You don't notice anything or anyone though.
Okay. So I haven't seen any movement or animals or people or signs of people or anything.
Nope.
Okay. So in that case, I will speed my way back to the vehicle and kind of huddle down at the.
Do me
oh yeah, go ahead.
do me a favor. Roll a What do I want to put this under? Let's see here. Roll a haste for me. On your way back to the car, as you get near the marquee, something kind of catches your eye.
I will investigate.
You notice this just area of the marquee where it looks like where everything's kind of overgrown and not necessarily like fresh growth, but it's just undisturbed growth, is this area where all the branches and leaves have been kind of smashed flat.
I'll go in for a closer look.
You can roll for me an intellect or a focus, depending on how you go about looking.
The score's the same either way.
You gonna take your time and kind of give it some attention, or is it just gonna be kind of like a quick like glancing around?
No, I'm being careful.
All right. Go ahead and roll focus for me. So you notice that something was here, but you don't know what it was, where it went, or how long it was, but you notice like someone was like camped out here for a period of time and now they're gone.
Like campfire and everything, or just sitting?
No, it's just like they had been like perched out here, like you don't know. It just is like the grass is flat, some sticks have been broken.
I'm gonna lean down with my fingertips and touch the ground and say, still warm. Can't have gone far. And then I'll head back.
Okay. You make
Mike's
back successfully.
Mike's always wanted to do that. All right, so I'll pop in and Terry, what are you doing?
Oh, Mike, just waiting on you. How was your trip?
Uneventful. So
Pop out of nowhere.
there's some stuff. I'll sit down next to Gillard, put my arm around him. There's a big patch that I'm still invisible, so you're good.
Right.
So, there's something was sitting underneath the marquee, but I mean, as much as I wish I was some rugged tracker in the wild, I mean, let's be honest, I tried to feel if the trail had gone cold, but everything I touch is kind of cold. So there's that. Beyond that, I didn't see anything. There's nothing. This place is dead as me.
While Terry is listening along and sort of making noises at Mike, Gillard, you probably notice that Terry's looking at a space that's like maybe a foot to the side of your head.
I pet
Not
Gillard's
at you,
hair.
just about
Pet
a foot to
Gillard's
the side.
hair. Pet.
And then he shifts his eyes over and he says, well, Mike's had a look around. He says it looks like something was underneath the marquee up over there, but it's not anymore.
My eyes widen, and you notice they slowly go over to the space next to me, like in that creepy sort of hesitant way, like, please tell me he is not right next to me.
I can tell you that, but it's not godly to lie, so I won't.
Could you move back?
shift back a few inches.
He moved.
Far, please, away. Ugh,
You can't see him.
disgusting.
I told you he moved, so you probably feel fine.
Shudder.
Well, if it's empty, I guess let's drive up in there and have a look around.
I don't know. I've seen enough movies to know where this is going.
Mike raises a good point that this is a kind of classic trap.
Trap. This is
Maybe-
some total Akbar right here.
This may be a classic trap, but our mutual friend. We need to see what's up with our mutual friend.
Thought I
Because
was your
he
mutual
been
friend.
missing for about a week and a half, and with all the shenanigans that are going on, we don't know what happened to him. I mean, the reason why we even met John in the first place is because he came into my shop asking after our mutual friend Freddy. So,
So Terry,
frankly,
just to make a point, because your safety is paramount to my existence, why would somebody send tufts of cat hair to these two people and invite them out to this obviously desolate and abandoned place other than for something nefarious?
Mike, my sentiments exactly. So I understand these are quite thick pieces of glass here. So I'm going to stay on this side of them, I think. Just this time around.
And we saw a woman punch an engine block out of a vehicle.
yeah, that's fine. I understand that. Obviously, if considering the circumstances, there may be some nefarious things waiting for me and Gillard, but there may be equally as nefarious things waiting for our friend Freddy. So, yeah.
I don't like this Gillard and I business. Like, could you separate our names a little more? I don't know if I'm getting out of this car at all, to be honest. It seems
We
kinda
both
creepy.
got the same note with a tuft of cat hair.
But still, I mean, I'm gonna have to burn these shoes. All right, fine.
For Freddy.
Roll. All right.
Let's go.
Things I do. And what do I get? Nothing. I tell you what I get. I get less than nothing. I get half of a story about a dog kennel and nothing else. That's it. That's it. Still waiting for the ending of that one. Get out of my car and get my shoes all dirty in this place. The Children of the Corns, the neglected theater. Ooh.
That's a good one.
Children of the neglected stale popcorn.
No, I like Children of the Corn. What was that guy's name? Damien?
Malachi.
Malachi. That's it. Thank you.
Why is that familiar?
So we're driving in and stepping out.
All right. So I posted a picture of like when you drive in to the actual drive-in area, you see that kind of scene. The drive-in theater is surrounded by kind of a light wooded area. The actual screen itself was this just massive white board that was built onto what looks like a cement wall. It's seen better days. Square pieces of the white board are now missing, and you have the chunks and like corners of the cement building that the board was mounted on have all broken apart or crumbled across the floor. And that's what you see if you'd like drive past the marquee. Outside of that, the description I had given to church, where there's the whole building, concession, bathrooms, You notice there's an old cigarette machine located outside of one of the concession walls.
Terry's looking out the window and he says to Mike, "You know, it really does kind of look like home out here."
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't entirely wrong. At least we're not on our way to spend the night in some creepy house.
Better days, I guess.
Well, I am going to step out and of the car once we are inside, and I guess I will start investigating around the screen area.
Okay. So you start walking away from the car towards the screen. What's everyone else do?
Terry, quite frankly, is sitting this one out.
Staying in the car?
Yeah, he may leap into action if something actually happens. Who knows? But for now, just chilling.
Okay. What about you, Gillard?
Faster misbe typing. So
This place is gross with a capital pour. If Terry stays in the car, I am too. All right. So Master stays in the car. Terry stays in the car.
I'll keep an eye on Mom.
Morgana, you make your way towards the screen. Nothing seems to really stand out from the screen area. You do notice that the cement side actually has like a rear entrance, kind of a rusted staircase that goes up to a door that leads inside of the cement building. It's likely a maintenance area where storage and different props and things like that would have been kept.
I am going to walk up to the maintenance area around the rear.
Okay. At this point, the sun is setting more. Like it's past the point to where like the sky is red and it is getting darker and harder to see at this point. You notice that the door appears to be kind of cracked open.
Did she walk out of sight to go around this side of the building?
Yep.
At that, Terry says, "Oh, come on, I didn't watch nearly as many movies as you, Mike, but that still seems like a bad idea."
Oh, I'm actually with her. I went with her to keep an eye on her.
You
Terry
find
looks
it
around and says, "Oh."
You find it eerily quiet that Mike's not responding.
Well, what do you know? He's made a friend. Guess I better check in on him. Gillard, I'll be back.
Mom let us stay the night and fed you.
That's true.
Bonus
So-
points.
Terry gets out of the car and heads off towards the building. Reasonable pace, no rush.
Okay. Gillard stays in the car.
With the driver.
Pulling the car around might be a good idea.
No, I'm just thinking because of how I want to work things out, and I know Gillard says that they're bulletproof windows, and it just had the image of what's his name from Tesla trying to show how his truck had like shatterproof windows.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like
God.
he just hit it and they just like shattered.
Shattered immediately. Then he did it again.
Right.
And it shattered again. These are the...
So I'm still
True
thinking
points.
like Gillard's in this car with bulletproof windows, but how do you know if unless they've been tested?
Oh, boy.
So all right. Terry gets out of the car, starts, I imagine, running towards.
No, just a decent walking pace.
Okay. So Terry's on his way. Mike and Morgana, you're at the back door at the top of the kind of stairwell leading into the maintenance area.
Does she appear to be like about to go through this door?
I don't know, Morgana. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say that I feel like this is something Morgana would do. Before we even went out on this excursion, Morgana grabbed one of her wands from her apartment upstairs, and I'm going to use evocation and create a little light at the tip of the wand.
Okay. So Terry, as you're walking towards, all of a sudden you notice this white light, as if someone had just turned on a lantern, starts emanating from the rear of the screen area.
Oh yeah, with that,
Is
Mike
that
goes,
good?
Mike goes visible with that just so he can point at it and be like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." So
That's
sorry
probably not good.
for appearing immediately in front of you.
Morgana's just going to smile and like give a genuine smile. A small, like what appears to be a chuckle, but she's remaining absolutely quiet and then just like kind of nods her head. And with that, I'm going to kind of slowly push open the door, like as quietly as I can.
I'm gonna try and like move in front of her with my fingers held up in the universal sign for 1 second.
At this, I'm going to just pause and wait.
Okay.
So I'll hold up my hand as if to say, "Wait there," and then I'm gonna peek in, phasing through the door.
You peek in, you see there's a lot of boxes all throughout this hall. There is what appears to be a giant, like, I don't want to say velvet, but that type of cloth just bundled up in one section of the wall, multiple pieces of it. You also find like old popcorn machines, what may be just some cartons of like really old and stale cigarettes just scattered. I mean, that type of thing you might have find from an old drive-in theater where they may have to restock supplies.
So just dry goods and storage and
Yep.
no movement.
Are you glancing or are you really looking?
I'm doing this as a protective measure, so I'm looking.
Roll focus for me. No movement.
All right, so I'll come back out of the door and kind of shrug and give the okay sign.
With this, I kind of give a small nod of the head and I like just push the door open more and like just sort of peer in with my wand out to kind of shed light on the place.
Are you still trying to be like real quiet about it?
I'm still trying to be, for the most part, quiet about it because even if there's nothing in here, like someone may be able to hear me from like other places. Like I know I have a light out, but still.
Okay. Roll guile for me. So as you start pushing the door, it begins to creak a bit. And you can tell if you push any more on this door, it's going to groan.
Is there enough of a gap for me to slip in now?
With that guile row, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to slip in one first.
Okay. You successfully make it through. You see the same kind of scene that Terry had explained, there's kind of a long, narrow hall that just have all those goods kind of scattered across.
Mike.
Oh yeah, Mike. Terry's on his own way. Speaking of Terry,
Yeah, Terry time.
you've kind of caught up because with the time it took Mike to go through the wall and scout out. You kind of round the corner just as Morgana has kind of slipped her way inside.
All right, I see her make her way through the door.
Yeah, you assume it's her. You do see the light emanating out through this kind of small, thin crack in the door.
Mm-hmm. I will peek. I will peek through the door, but not progress through it.
From what you can see, you see her standing inside the door. You see Mike there. Or I should ask, Mike, you went in, right?
I'm keeping pace with her.
Okay, that's what I assumed. And then you see just a bunch of boxes with some cloths draped over them.
Okay. Terry's going to stay posted up at the door. She's, quite frankly, probably got the situation more under control than he can contribute to, but you always want to watch your exits.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to look carefully, like very careful eye, up and down this long, narrow building, see if I see anything out of the ordinary at all.
Go ahead and roll focus for me.
Rip.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
So
We're going to jump to Gillard, though, real quick, so hold that thought. Gillard, you're in the car. What are you doing in the car? The lap of luxury. Relaxing now that the creepy ghost boy is gone.
Poor Mike.
I'm not creepy. I'm just misunderstood.
Gillard, you, while sitting in the car, relaxing, go ahead. No, I won't have you. I'm going to wait to see what you do. You start to... Let me actually roll. You start to just feel uneasy. As if you feel like you're being watched. Let that sink in while we bounce back. All right, so you look around, you don't see anyone. All you see outside is kind of the edge of the forest area that surrounds the movie theater, the marquee, and the concession area. So no visible movement, no visible anyone standing out there.
All right.
All right,
So
Morgana and Mike.
I got a trick I'd like to try and pull. Well, not a trick, just I'm used to exploring places that people don't go, haven't go, or aren't in because I can. And I'm going to say, if you'll allow it, one of the tricks I'm probably kind of used to is, since I do not disturb the physical realm that I pass through.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to looking for footprints in the dust. Do I see any footprints in the dust?
Roll a focus for me.
Bear in mind what Morgana's shoes look like. There's a full illustration of her somewhere in the chat, so if you need a reference.
And I'm going to say with the light that Morgana is casting, you actually get an assist, which gives you a bonus to your roll. You can't make out any specific like footprints, but you can tell, like, based on the dust, things have kind of been disturbed. You just can't tell by what or where. It's just that, like, some of the dust has been kind of like pushed and scattered around. There's batches of dust, missing dust, like someone or something has been through here.
All right, I'm gonna wave my hand at Morgana's face, kind of to get her attention.
All right, you've got my attention.
I'm gonna point at my eyes and then point down to the disturbances that I'm seeing.
All right, I look where Mike is pointing.
And you can try and search too if you want.
Oh yeah, another focus.
Yep.
Hey.
What you actually can make out is, amongst kind of the chaos of the dust and dirt being disturbed, you don't make out footprints as much as what looks like, trying to think of how to describe it. These, think of it as if someone had taken two large sausages and dragged them across the floor with little small handprints scattered amongst the floor, but it's a little off because these handprints only have 3 fingers, it looks.
Would I recognize any sort of creature with only 3 fingers? Or know of anything?
There's a lot.
Yeah, I figured. I was just thinking maybe there was, like, a creature of the supernatural that Morgana would have encountered, especially if they were fae.
And it looks like there was a small creature that was kind of like crawling across the floor. So it's not like they were walking, and it's not like a 4-legged like dog's footprints. It's more of like, think of it as if like an infant crawling, where you have their hands on the ground but their legs are kind of dragging.
Yeah. I will follow that track in as much as I can.
So you follow the track down the hall, past a crate of old movie posters, and it leads kind of into a back office.
Oh, hang on. I got to do this. I apologize in advance. You just tell me if this is pass or fail.
What are you trying to do?
Not be distracted by the box of old movie posters.
You are distracted by the box of old movie posters.
Mike, come on.
Do you start rummaging through them?
Well, I mean, as best as my non-physical hands can.
You see posters for some like real classic horror movies. So like there's an original poster for Halloween in there. You have I don't know, Tower of Evil comes to mind.
So
It's alive.
is Terry in earshot of a slightly raised voice?
Yeah, he's right
Oh.
outside the door.
Yeah, I could hear you.
So, Terry, you suddenly hear, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Holy cow! Oh my God, if only I could carry these in a bundle in my arms like a lover in a sweet embrace." And I had a place to hang them up. But this is amazing. This is a piece of lost history. Oh my God. I got to bring Terry back here.
Do I see Mike getting distracted?
Yes. Especially with him yelling right now.
It's an animated deal.
So I'm going to look back. Since I'm toward the office now, I'm going to kind of whisper under my breath, Mike. And like kind of do that little clicking noise and like nod my head towards the door.
Yeah, sorry. My bad, sorry. I'm coming back for these, but yeah, sorry.
All right, so you go down to the elevator? Or not the elevator. I said
The
I
office.
I got distracted by a movie poster for Hunchback of the Morgue. Looking up old movie posters. All right, go ahead. You're at the office. It's not. There's no door that's closed or anything, so you see right into the office. Some old filing cabinets, an old wooden desk. That's about the extent of it, though. The feet kind of go in and go over to a wall and disappear.
Well, I see this. I just kind of look at Mike, give a small shoulder shrug, and I point my finger saying that I'm gonna, point my finger indicating that I'm headed back out.
I'll do the hang on a second motion again.
All right.
Peek through the wall where the feet disappeared.
It's large, thick cinder block. If you try to face through it, you come out on the other side of the wall.
Try the floor too, just to be safe.
Floor just straight dirt, concrete.
I'll shrug as I come back up and do the after you symbol.
All right. So I'm going to start walking down the hall, wand in front of me.
Okay. So you make it back to the entrance of the door. As you make it out the door and you reach, Terry, are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of like leaned up on the wall against the door, looking
are
out
you
across
just-
the dark scrublands.
So you just kind of like in an Overwatch position more or less.
Ideally, yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Terry's like, over the last few days, this is more time in peace and quiet away from Mike than he's had in years. So like, he's just slipped into a kind of quiet contemplation.
Okay.
He is at least facing the right direction.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll a straight 4 fudge or faith dice for me.
There you go. Even across the board.
Yep. That's not bad. Morgana, Mike work their way out.
I slip out and head down the stairs. Do I see Terry?
And I'd think yes, he was kind of hanging out right there.
I'll immediately cram Terry's ears filled with my exciting discovery inside and beg him to take all the posters home.
Oh, guess you didn't run into much in there, huh? Well, apart from some posters, I guess.
And by
No, I really
posters, you
didn't.
mean treasure trove.
No, I really didn't see much of anything in there. Well, Mike and I did see that some of the dust inside was a little disturbed, as in there were like two straight lines headed into an office and small handprints along the two lines that only had 3 fingers. Imagine like a baby crawling on the ground, but these weren't, these didn't look like human hands. But yeah, that's the only thing that we saw, but the trail led nowhere. It led, it rounded a corner and then headed straight to a wall and then nothing. Nothing after that. And Mike couldn't find anything through the wall either.
I went through the wall and the floor. Nothing there.
That's an odd one. Well, if there wasn't anything too dangerous, Mike wants me to grab him some posters, and he's been real patient, so I figure I'll grab him some.
Oh yeah, we'll have Mike lead you. If you want to, hold on to this, and I'll keep watch outside, like you did for me.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Nothing too interesting out here. So Terry, with somewhat less of the stealth, not really his strong suit. He enters the door and starts aiming towards, I imagine with Mike's direction, a pile of movie posters.
Okay. And you see the same kind of things. They're all classic horror movies that you see in there.
Mm-hmm.
You, as you're going through the movie posters, you hear what sounds like the groan of kind of like old metal or steel kind of bending. You know how like if you had real thin metal that you're working with, it makes like this noise.
Yep.
You hear something like that come from above you.
I look up from the Bride of Frankenstein to the ceiling and I say, "Hey Mike, you didn't see anything upstairs?"
We're going to jump to Gillard real quick.
Yeah.
So Gillard's sitting in the car trying to take some of the eeriness off his mind by watching something on his phone. Legs ready to rumble. What? Oh,
I think that's
let's get ready to rumble. You have to be careful. That's copyrighted, and we could be sued now. Thank you. So you're watching boxing, wrestling, something. I imagine your windows are tinted. There's a light outside your window, even though your windows are tinted. There's like a flash of a light that kind of catches your attention on the passenger side of the car. You look over and there's nothing there. But you do notice, because this did happen from the marquee area, it looks like there's some branches to the bushes that are kind of shaking.
Uh-oh. Can Morgana see from the marquee area since she's standing watch outside?
You gave the light to Terry?
Oh, right. True. Guess I can't see anything.
Yeah, if you wouldn't. Plus, if like you're hanging out at the watching out from the back of the marquee, you'd be looking more out towards like the back wooded area. versus.
Well, I mean,
or,
I'm keeping
not the marquee.
watch from the building that I just exited out of while Terry grabs the posters. I was asking if I could see to the marquee, but without the light, I probably
Yeah.
can't.
So since the entrance is at the back of that concrete wall, if you were trying to keep an eye on the back door and anything leading up to the door, your back would be to the marquee area. If you were watching the marquee, your back would end up being to the area leading up to the door.
Okay. Well, Jalar just said that he is going to roll down the window and look toward the marquee area.
So you look down, look through the window, cracked carefully, and from the driver's side of the car, you just hear this scratching of metal as it sounds like metal on metal just dragging across the side of the car door. Yeah. You look over to your driver and you notice the driver's side door is open and the driver is gone.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
All of Mike's dreams are gonna come true.
This is my chance.
So we're gonna bounce back to Terry.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard that metal, like bowing sound.
Yep.
What is it you were doing?
I had inquired with Mike if he had checked upstairs and seen anything.
I didn't look upstairs.
I don't think there was even an upstairs to look at.
Might be
Out of
worth a
character.
quick look, just so I know how fast I gotta run.
So Mike, are you gonna go look upstairs?
Yeah. No, I'll go peek.
So Mike, as you look up to start going up through the ceiling, you notice there's actually a movie grate right above the not a movie grate. There's a steel grate, like a ventilation grate right above where the movie posters are. And in the ear, like just the light that's being given off by the wand that Morgana had given Terry, you see this in the grate.
I'll recoil slightly.
And that's where we're going to call it for this.
Fucking that thing is ugly.
I don't know.
Damn.
I'd adopt it.
Sure just wants to be
It's-
friends.
Gonna be trouble.
Yeah, it's gonna be some trouble.
It looks so friendly
Yeah.
and intelligent. Nothing has a big brain with veins like that, and it's not intelligent.
Well, I can't have my movie posters.
We are going to escape with precisely the one poster that Terry is holding when he's about to start leaving.
It's a poster for the movie It's Alive.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yep. All right, so what let me actually open since Jalard's in chat. What did everyone think of tonight's session? Oh, did someone drop out?
No,
Master Miss blinked
Okay.
for a moment.
I I really enjoyed the eeriness of the movie theater. I can't see how it connects back to the main story yet. I mean, I can maybe kind of guess with this baby. I don't know like where it's going, but I also know this is the like quote unquote Halloween special.
Yeah, this is really more of a Halloween side adventure.
Yeah. I like the I do like that I got to get a fair bit of role play in. Like I feel like this was a good role play night for like me and Morgana, and I like enjoyed that. And we're bringing Jallard back into things.
Kicking and streaming, but here.
Jallard's got to remember. Jallard still has a couple security people that she had sent to scout out, or he had sent out to scout out.
Also true.
I wonder what happened to them.
They were told, stay out of sight. If I see you, you're fired.
Oh, that's right.
Are we sure that this thing in the grate isn't one of them?
Terry and Mike, what were your thoughts?
I liked Terry's kind of introduction to the more magical world, because now he's got to start incorporating all of these things. This is not really like one crazy strong old lady. That's an anomaly. Once you start getting hit with it over and over again, now you've just got to adapt. And watching Terry adapt is fun.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a good one.
Yeah, I love getting into the role play of now Morgana is going to have to start explaining stuff to Terry, and I'm excited for like the teachable moments that it's going to lead to in the future.
I'm really hoping to see Jallard take some interest in their construct of the world kind of just being more vast and more avenues to kind of they're really a 1%er of a small subset of the worlds that they knew.
Yeah, and considering that Jallard has had multiple interactions with Mike now, that Mike has chosen to make himself visible to Jallard, he kind of knows now beyond a reasonable doubt that ghosts exist. And at some point, Morgana's going to have to explain that Freddy is a werecat. I know that Morgana is the only person who knows this, has a secret, and is keeping it secret for Freddy, but at some point she may have to make a decision of, yeah, I might need to tell Jallard these things so he knows what's really going on, sort of deal. So, yeah, he's going to start finding out some shit. He's already seen Morgana cast. Well, actually, I don't think he's seen Morgana cast magic yet. So, at some point, he will be seeing Morgana cast actual as magic that he's not going to have an explanation for, but Morg will.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
I got some antics in and got to show myself off to some new people, which was nice.
Good.
I think I'm starting to find my role in dangerous situations for us as a group, which is
it's kind of the scout.
It's convenient, you know, in the fact that I can pretty much more or less be invisible and pass through solid objects. But
yeah. Bear in mind, Morgana's already seen you once whenever she used the sight at Jallard's, one of many of Jallard's penthouse apartments.
Mike has been seen by more people in New Orleans than anywhere else we've probably gone to.
That's a true story.
Definitely.
Very true story. All right, good. Does everyone available for next Friday? Jacob, are you gonna be around for Star Wars next Friday, the 30th?
I am equipped for Star Wars.
Fantastic. All right, so how does Church, you have a week in November you're not available. Is that the week of the 9th?
Yeah, it's the 9th through the 13th.
Okay. How does the 6th work for everyone to resume Dresden Files?
Should
Good.
be fine for me.
Works for me.
Fantastic. All right, I'll update that info, and we'll see anyone who tuned in. Hopefully, Church, are you running a game tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be Ground Zero Session 1 of the new chapter.
Fantastic.
Oh, man.
The next
I think-
adventure of Cairn.
Everyone's going to want to tune into that. So yeah, outside of that, we're going to be doing some more weekday streams of more gaming, Baldur's Gate. We've been talking about Gloomhaven. If anyone wants to join a Gloomhaven group, it's not on sale, but it's on early access on Steam. We're thinking about picking that up. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
I know it was short notice this week as I had some plans, so